What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and we're back. We're back for the first live stream actually since my birthday, but we're also here to talk about Marvel Spider-Man 2. I had promised kind of themed streams. It's something that we've experimented with in the first half of the year, and I definitely want to do more going into the second half. So that means Marvel Spider-Man 2 streams, hopefully some like Starfield-like things, Alan Wake, many more, and even going into, I suppose, next year. So I want to welcome everybody in. We're here to talk about Marvel Spider-Man 2 just in general. We're here to talk about obviously the story trailer and what we got from SDCC. I guess we can maybe just say Comic-Con, make it really short. But it's exciting. Yesterday was enormous. Yesterday was massive, and it kind of was. Well, I think it was everything that we kind of wanted it to be. It was not the Venom playable thing, but you get the confirmation of the PS5. You get the confirmation of like the covers being able to take off. You get the confirmation of the controller. You get to see Venom in action. You get to hear some voices. You get to see Harry and a new form of MJ and actually a new look for pretty much everybody. We got like the formal looks of how everybody looks. By the way, they totally the Nathan Drake thing. I've seen that going around on Twitter where like Peter, when he's holding like the thing in like the party, holding the tray, definitely does look like Nate in Uncharted 4. Just want to throw that out there. But how's everybody doing? We're also here to take questions and comments in the chat. Leave in the chat whatever you want me to talk about, Spider-Man related, or I suppose other things. I want to try to keep it Spider-Man centered, but if we go off the rails, that's okay. Appreciate all you guys being here. Make sure you leave a like, all that jazz. Check out the links in the description for my other channels. And Nathan Parker, that's right. He really does look like it. Let me start there. I actually want to do an entire video. I'm going to, when this live stream's over, I'll record it. I want to talk about specifically MJ in that video, but like their new look. So one thing I will say, so I overall am actually a big fan of how MJ looks now versus how she looked in 2018. I will say she looks almost more like photorealistic or more realistic to like an actual like woman than I would maybe argue any of the others do. She looks more like human than the others do. But I think because of that, she actually looks a lot older. I think one thing obviously they did with Peter, and we went down that dark abyss of the face swaps, right? I'm still not a fan. And I also think they did it purposely because now he looks a lot more like Tom Holland. He looks younger. I think that was flat out. They can say whatever excuse they want to say. I believe that was the plan. I think the plan was to make it look a little bit more like Tom Holland. I think the plan was to make him look younger in general. So the odd thing that I will also say in this video that I'll probably go up tomorrow, I think MJ looking substantially older now, she doesn't look bad, but she just looks older. I think her looking older, and then the whole idea with Peter making him look younger, now it's kind of weird. Now it kind of looks weird. But beyond that, I think everybody looks really good. Harry, Miles. I know there's the debate about Miles's hair and all that jazz. We won't get too much into that one. We won't go into that too much. When do you think we'll see more of it? I think it's going to be a pretty fast lead up. So I imagine they're done for now. Like they showed everything they were going to show yesterday. I think they go dark, the rest of July, maybe a good amount of August too. But if I were them, okay, if I was PlayStation, and I think this is how it'll go, I think you start the hype for Spider-Man 2 in terms of like being very active on social media, like Twitter, maybe doing more clips, maybe if they have any more announcements. I don't really know what more they would need to do, right? But if there's anything, I think they should start around early September. So you start around Starfield time. And I would do that literally as a competition, like a competitor thing. So that's kind of what I imagine is going to happen. I think they'll wait until very early September when Starfield picks up and becomes everybody's life, including my own. I think that's when they will come out and say, all right, it's about a month and a week before Spider-Man. And I mean, that is Starfield, right? But they're like, we're getting pretty close to Spider-Man. So we're going to start just kind of releasing or announcing stuff on social media. So I do believe that'll be the plan. And that should be funny because why they're doing it. It's not because necessarily of Spider-Man 2. It's just to get that competition going. But that's okay. MJ looks way older. Yeah. On her. Yep. And that's exactly how I feel. I think she looks more comic accurate, which, there's some people I think that just don't like how her model looks now versus 2018. That's okay. I don't agree with that. I literally believe, I don't read nor really care about the comics, but I did see people say like, guys, come on, like she actually does look more like it. So I look and it's like, oh yeah, she looks a lot like her version. If you look at pretty much any MJ design, let's say in any comic line, she looks pretty darn like it now. So I'm pretty sure that is probably the reason why they changed the face, just kind of in general. I guess that I don't really know. But again, like a byproduct of that is they did, I think, make her look a little bit older. Tom Holland was from Spider-Man Remastered. That's true. He doesn't look exactly like that now. He looks like that along with like a little young Nathan Drake ish to him. That's true. It's not 100%. I don't mind Miles' hair. I have a buddy with that same haircut. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're gonna get those fights online. Honestly, you're gonna get the I don't know if it's political or racial or whatever, but you're obviously gonna have the people that talk about like, oh, they're doing this, or certain people are designing him and they shouldn't, and all that kind of garbage. I don't care too much about. I don't really care too much, I guess, about any of their looks. Number one, including Peter. Like, obviously, I was upset at the face swap because I just don't think that was very cool. And again, we talked about that through multiple videos back in the day. But I do agree with the idea that like you'll see Peter's face very little. Like he should be Spider-Man most of the time, right? When you're playing as him, he should be Spider-Man most of the time. If you're playing an entire game of Peter Parker, they've made the wrong game. So I think that with Peter, I'd say the same thing for Miles, whether you like him or not, is that, well, he also shouldn't really be Miles for most of the game. He should be Spider-Man. So that's the thing. And then MJ, I don't think she's going to be in it too much. I don't think she's in 100% of the game. I don't think when you're swinging through the city as either of them that you are going to just see her and she's going to be like on your back the whole time. So I don't think you're going to have to stare at their faces for the majority of this game. So no matter where you stand on their looks, I think you'll be okay, because the point's not really to look at their face. The point's really to like look at the suits and the alternate skins and the color variants and all that stuff. That's the point. So, Philip, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Hopefully, Sony making the PS5 cheaper means I can snag one on eBay for less. Maybe. I mean, if everything gets brought down, they're more readily available now than they ever are or ever were. So maybe you'll get it. I don't know. I don't want to. I'll tell you this. I don't want people swooping in and stealing it. I am in an eBay war right now, a bidding war over something that I'm winning currently. And I don't want to jinx myself, but I've said it out loud already. So, if I lose it, I lose it. It's no big deal. But I am in an eBay war right now, and I hope I win. Just throwing that out there. MJ and Pete and Harry are between the age of 26. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Because he's been Spider-Man was he Spider-Man for like 6 or 7 years back in 2018, that game. And then you had Miles, and then this is 9 months after. Yeah. So, I mean, they're pushing their like later 20s. So, but the thing again, like I think she looks older than that and he looks younger than that. But again, you're not going to be staring at them the entire game. If the console bundle and all of its contents will be released on September 1st, it would make sense for them to begin active around then. Yeah. And do the pre-orders. I want that controller, but I'm not going to like kill for it. I'm not going to sit there, and I'm not like judging the people that do it. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, I want that controller like really badly, but I'm not willing to murder for it. I'm not willing to wait like hours on the computer to get it. I also haven't been paying too much attention to how you get it. So is it pre-orders like next week or something? It's tough because, I'm looking at my PS5, my little boy over there. And is it a boy or a girl? I don't know. But I was thinking about, the removable covers for the PS5, and it's very cool. Like the Spider-Man thing is super cool. And I hope they do that with future games. Like I'd love a Last of Us version, or if there's ever a new Uncharted, etc. I think those are super sweet. There's something special about just the white, and I don't know if I'd ever swap it. Although, like my PS3 was never touched. I never put stickers or anything. My PS4, I do believe, with Uncharted 4, I don't remember if it was in the box or like in the collector's edition or if it was somewhere else. There were like stickers, and you could put the sticker over the PS4 controller, which I did. And you could put a sticker on the PS4 itself, which I did. And there's something cool to that, but there's also something cool about leaving it alone and leaving it as its original form. So honestly, like no judgment whatsoever to the people that do it. Because I kind of get tempted. I get tempted by the dark side sometimes, but I ultimately reject it. So no, I'm just kidding. This is my game of the year. To be honest, it probably won't win, but I'm praying. It definitely has competition. Starfield is going to be a big one. I think Tears of the Kingdom kind of already has it, to be honest with you. There could be some like underdogs like Resident Evil 4, I think stands a chance. What else? What else? What else? Obviously Spider-Man. I don't know if any game that releases after it stand a chance, like besides he's like Alan Wake, I just think is going to get steamrolled by these things. Like a Dragon probably doesn't stand a chance against it. So, there is some competition. It's probably like a 3 or 4 way race. I think Spider-Man's one of them. So, Yep. Mr. Negative being in it. That was pretty sweet. And it's cool to see, obviously, story trailer. So you get a little bit of info as to what these characters are kind of going through. And I think that was a little bit more said in like the PlayStation blog / it was said at Comic-Con where, Peter is having a tough time like paying the mortgage on Aunt May's house. And Miles is kind of all over the place. And it, ultimately, I don't take how do I say I don't take it too serious? Like I don't think it's all that super deep because ultimately I do feel like a lot of these superheroes tend to have the same problems where they're in debt or they don't really know who they are or who they want to be. But then like when really bad things happen, ultimately a lot of those things have to be dropped for like the better of others. So they ultimately have to go and like save a city or save a person. And in that they find themselves and they figure stuff out. But it's always in the backdrop. Like, do these superheroes besides Batman, can they ever actually pay for things? Are they always broke? And, they can maybe start the game broke and then they kind of just forget about it throughout the game because it's not really a big deal, right? So I care about like their character, like their personality. I think that's actually a positive of this game with Venom or the symbiote is you're going to see Peter's like friend structure crumble. And it's like, that is the stuff does that make sense? That's the stuff I care about more. I care about how he treats Miles on a day-to-day and then how that would change with the symbiote or MJ, right? Same thing. I don't care too much about his finances because ultimately that's a really big suspension of disbelief just in the first place. But that's kind of a tangent. So let's see. Tony Todd is the perfect. He is. Did you hear him? I assume many people heard him say like, "We are Venom" on the stage, which was super sweet. I don't. He's just 9 months older than what he was. I don't remember how old he was though in Miles. I'm actually a side thing. I've been playing. I'm doing all these backlog things, trying to get all these games done. My hope, most likely, I haven't thought about it too hard. My hope is maybe to start Spider-Man because I want to replay Marvel Spider-Man 2018. I might start that like tomorrow or Sunday. I got Spider-Man 2002, the PS2 game. I'm going to play that as well. But I think I want to do the 2018 one like relatively soon just to freshen up on it. I guess refresh my memory on it. Do a lot of videos to get ready for Spider-Man 2. So I think that would help. So I'm going to be replaying that. I don't think I'll replay Miles just because I already did it. And then I got the Platinum trophy. I got the Platinum on both of those games. But I played Miles after Spider-Man at like 3 years ago, less than 3 years. So I probably won't go back to replay Miles, but I will do 2018 and I want to do 2002. I don't have the it's on my list, all my retro games that I want. I don't have the Shattered Dimensions of the World. I don't have any of those games. But I do want them. But they're so expensive. So I'm not even going to try. Alex, what's going on? I will personally so like I said in the video yesterday, it's hard to not like think Harry Oh my god, my phone almost died. It's hard to not like buy it about the Harry thing. And I even saw, my friend Sway, right, on Twitter. He did a thread and he did a couple theories in there, and some people were retweeting it. And like the way the way seemingly the trailer goes is showing Harry get more and more sick, right? So like at the carnival, or even like sitting talking to Peter in the beginning, Harry is pretty like healthy. But we know because of the gameplay we saw back, a few months ago or a month ago or whenever that was, that he is sick again. So I think he gets out of the chamber and he's not sick because it did something for him. And then he gets progressively more sick. Symbiote attaches itself to Pete. So maybe instead of it starts at Harry, then it goes to Peter. Then does it go back to Harry to then become Venom? And I think that at least the way that Harry is kind of dying throughout the trailer and getting weaker, it would make a lot of sense for the symbiote to kind of reattach itself to Harry and become Venom. The only other option would be, I guess, Norman, but I just don't think that, because I think that's just going to be Green Goblin, right? Could be Peter, I suppose. Eddie Brock, obviously, and they're trying to distance themselves from Eddie Brock. It's either going to be Eddie or Harry at this point. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I bet you anti-venom will be part of the game. We're going to heal the world. Yeah, I think maybe you tweeted that at me yesterday. I actually remember that. I'm sure. I'm sure, much like even what they did with like Wraith and stuff in the first game, or like setting it up. I'm sure they'll have some things to set up in for this game, whether it be for a spin-off thing or something else. Oh, Final Fantasy. I think I personally don't think Final Fantasy will win many awards, or at least Game of the Year awards. I love the game. I think at its best, as I said in the review, I think at its best, Final Fantasy 16 is one of the best games of the year. But at its worst, it's very uneven. It's a very uneven game. It is. Spider-Man is definitely one of the biggest games. Harry's most likely Venom. There's a lot of evidence, but later on in the game. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Mr. Negative is now Mr. Pot. He sure is. He very optimistic kind of guy. Yeah, Miles was purposely shorter. So I would say this game should be, I'll probably make a video on that, like the length of Spider-Man 2. It should probably at least be the length of the first game. I don't need it to double. Definitely don't need it to double, but they might, at least maybe the side stuff might double. So there you go. Miles is 18. We're gonna change the we're gonna change the world line. Gives me chills. Can't wait for the game. Yeah, it was good. Shattered Dimensions is what I played. I think, was it Spider-Man 2? Is that the one that people consider really, really good? I had Spider-Man 2 on the PC, on the dinosaur PC I had at the time. And I think that was my very first Spider-Man game. I did play, I think I rented or played it at a friend's house, Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time. And that I haven't played that many Spider-Man games. Like I feel like it's only 2 or 3 of them. And then obviously 2018. So yeah. What do you think about the new face for MJ? I feel a bit disconnected from the character. Doesn't feel like the same person. Also, she looks much older. Yeah, that's basically just rewind the stream like 15 minutes, and that's. I don't know if it's I understand the disconnected thing. I do think she looks older, too much older, and she also kind of doesn't look like the same person. But I think it was just, and maybe I'll explain this in the video I'll do tomorrow. It's a hard pivot. But it's also an incredibly hard pivot for Peter. It's just they kind of warned us. They didn't really warn us for, you know what I mean? So it's like we're kind of caught by surprise. So, well, I think Horizon pushed the PS5 more than Ragnarok, and also probably will push it more than Spider-Man. And I mean, Forbidden West and Burning Shores. I think what they did in Burning Shores, technologically wise, is that a word? What they did it that way, I don't really think Spider-Man can beat. I think the speed at which Spider-Man moves, literally, so like when they showed the gameplay where Miles is kind of creating that tension and then letting go and then flying, flinging throughout the city. I think that will kind of be kind of special to see the PS5 do that. But then just a better overall package. Yeah, I think it can be. I think it can be. I think it depends on the story and kind of like the epicness of Venom, because I think Forbidden West is really good, but I think it's beatable. And then Ragnarok, in terms of the story and characters, I thought was excellent, but it was a little safe. It was very much a part 2 to a part 1. So we'll see how much this game feels like a part 2 to a part 1. And that'll probably, I think it would go for me, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, but for different reasons. And then we'll see if Spider-Man can be higher than it. Yeah, no, Wraith. Yeah, Wraith is in this game. Well, we saw Wraith in the Craven thing, which I think confirms it. And then also, I believe that is Wraith in the story trailer. So, Ultimate Spider-Man vibes back from 2005. See, I don't know if I ever played. I don't. Oh, okay. Then you maybe you commented it then. Maybe it was on the video yesterday. Maybe it was or maybe somebody else just said the exact same thing. Great minds think alike, they say. Yeah, I think they'll tease. I think Green Goblin can be teased at the end of this game, which would set up 3. I think that's probably the idea. What's going on, Portal player? Welcome in. I think Venom will be Craven. That'd be awesome. That is true. That is a third. We did that video a couple of weeks back where I think I went through who could be Venom, and I think it was maybe Craven, Harry, and Eddie. Like those are the 3. At this point, I think Harry is kind of my number, or I guess maybe even Peter. So Harry is probably number 1, and then Craven would probably be dead last, just because I don't really buy it. But it would probably be the most shocking because it's the most out of left field one they could choose. So is Eddie in the game? I believe so. I saw a tweet on it. Now I don't know if the tweet. I said it in the video. I feel like they confirmed it at Comic-Con. I'm thoroughly convinced Harry's going to be Venom. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. Insomniac teased Venom being a hero in their tweet. Yeah, I think I saw some of that. Where is he just going to kind of be an anti-hero that kind of helps Peter towards? He could be for the simple gaming reason that they will probably set it up where he can have a spin-off game, and then. But, here's the thing. It's okay to play as the villain. It's okay to just be bad. And I think that's why so many people gravitated towards Prototype. Now, the thing with Prototype is I think in a lot of ways you are still good as Alex Mercer. You have a very dark side to you. You in some ways are bad, but mostly you're still kind of good. Is there a game? Let me ask you guys. I don't know if I can think off the top of my head. Is there a game where you are just purely the bad guy? Like flat out, you're the evil one? Because I'm sure there are, but I'm sure it's very, very little. And I think even the games like the Prototypes of the world, you're still, or even Infamous, if you choose to go bad, you still are kind of good. Like, is there one where you're just purely bad? So I think, and by that, why I'm lingering on that, I think by that logic, that's why somebody like Venom will probably not be purely evil, because you'll probably want to play as him in the 3rd game, play as him in a spin-off game, and then he's got to be like the movies. He's got to be somewhat good, It's too obvious for it to be Harry. It's also too obvious for it to be Eddie, though. So MJ at times looks the same, but mostly doesn't. It's weird. Yeah. Dude, I do believe the PS5 Slim is real. I do. Is there going to be a Spider-Man 3 for PS6? 100%. 100%. It'll sell the PS6 just like it'll sell the PS6 just like Spider-Man 2 will sell the PS5 just like Spider-Man 1 sold the PS4. So, and yeah, it's going to sell way more than God of War. Yeah. I'm watching from the start right now, but MJ looks 50, all Botox style. I think well, there's a couple different scenes with her. I think some of them she looks more kind of natural than others. So, Oh, I don't agree. I will say it's okay to have difference of opinions, but I will say I hated the trailer for Kraven the Hunter. I was not a fan. Not a fan at all. Harry's Venom, end of story. First Spider-Man game was Return of the Sinister Six on NES. Wow. Oh my God. Jameson podcast. Yeah. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. I'm personally more excited if I could play as Black Cat or Spider-Gwen rather than Venom. That's true. But the thing is, there's always that kind of potential. I think Gwen, that would be really cool. I think her popularity, obviously, has been on the rise because of Haley Steinfeld. I guess one, because of the movies. Obviously, two. I think there's definitely a possibility that they kind of spin off into it. It's actually kind of like I said for DC yesterday in that longer video, where there are so many opportunities of what you can do, but just so many limited studios. Specifically for Insomniac, I don't need them to just be, and they're not because they're doing Wolverine, right? But like you got to be careful because I don't want them to just be not even just a superhero studio. I actually don't even want them to do that. But I even more so don't want them to be just a Spider-Man studio. So if they're just cranking out mainline Spider-Man games, a Black Cat spinoff, a Venom spinoff, a Gwen Stacy spinoff, like yes, those are all cool, and there's no reason why we can't get them, like, at some point. But the sad part with the gaming industry is just there's so many ideas that are left, and they're not touched because of limited talent or time or whatever. So I would really not prefer them to crank out like 4, 5, 6 Spider-Man related games because I don't want them to be just known as a Spider-Man studio. And I honestly think that's a limitation. You're limiting their talent. I think they're way more talented than that. So. They confirm that Venom will be happy as he causes death and destruction. Oh, there you go. GTA, what about it? GTA is the big one next year. See, we can have the fight all day long for Game of the Year this year because it is kind of a race between Starfield and Zelda and Spider-Man and maybe a few others. Next year, there's only one. I mean, realistically, there could be some incredibly good games next year that are not named GTA, but it's just so big. It will be like the biggest thing, not even in gaming, like kind of on planet Earth, one of the biggest things that how do you not, what I mean? Like that is the game. What's going to be funny is I can't wait to see studios, and I want to see studios be very honest with us and just tell us, because if your game is planning to launch in, say, November of 2024, which let's say is when GTA comes out, I want them to be very honest in a press release and say, we're getting the heck out of there. We are not releasing the same week. We don't even want to release the same month as GTA 6. We're not doing it. Those are conversations I hope that we have and see next year. I hope we can play Venom in this game. I feel like for everybody that wants to play as Venom, there's also somebody who doesn't want to play as Venom. Last of Us 2, you play as the bad guy. No, well, I see what you're saying, but no, I wouldn't like. I would say Abby is not even as bad as like an Alex Mercer type in Prototype. I'm talking about just like purely, just because Abby killed Joel, I think she is a bad person, but like they're all kind of bad. Like that's kind of the point. Ellie's bad, but they also have some good in them. So I'm talking about somebody who's just like flat out evil. Thoughts on the PS5 Pro? I made a video actually right before the only video of the day so far. I actually talked about the PS5 Pro. It's okay. I probably won't get it, but it's coming. I think it's coming. I'm calling it right now. Harry will somehow die in this game, and it'll push Osborn to yes, yeah. I think you're probably right. That's a good thought. I don't know. I don't agree with the Last of Us one. I don't know. No, I don't think Spider-Man 2 is. I think Horizon is, yeah. I think in terms of just pure, I'll say this, like, I think one of the best looking games, period, is Plague Tale Requiem. I think that deserves, and it's a third party game, but I think that deserves to be up there. I think Horizon is probably the best PS5 looking game. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I think Hellblade 2 could be the best looking game when it comes out. I think that could be one. Black Cat game would never sell. That's true. That's probably true. But a Spider-Gwen game probably would sell. I think that would sell. I'm excited for the suits as well. Well, the Wolverine game coming up, I hope Insomniac makes an X-Men video game. I think somebody will have to make an X-Men game. For sure. I do believe, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that it's a remake. I believe more that it's a remaster. So, but we'll see. We should find out. Well, Colin, the rumor is that we'd find out in August, that they would announce it in August. So next month we should see the game, see Red Dead. How's your day? Good, buddy. How about yours? Typical, yeah. I hate the Craven trailer too. It doesn't seem interesting, and Russell Crowe acted more like Craven than the main character. Yeah, I was not a fan. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna pretend like I care about it too much because I'm not gonna see it. I probably never was gonna see it. But I don't see many movies, so that's not really. It's not fair. It's not fair for me to give my opinion too much on that one. Insomniac, Fantastic Four game. See, these are the again. I agree. Fantastic Four, X Men. It doesn't all have to come from Insomniac. I want them to go back to Resistance one day. I want them to keep doing Ratchet and Clank games. I want them to make brand new games like when they did Sunset Overdrive. So I think that's the hole that you might fall in. I don't want them to just make like 19 superhero games. I think that, again, I think that's a limitation. I think they're I think they're good storytellers. And I think the story can flex itself better in like, I think the story of Resistance is probably better than the story. No, I'll just say it. I'll own up to it. I think the story of the Resistance franchise is better than Spider-Man 2018 by a lot. I think it's probably their best story in any of the franchises they've done. So, yeah, that's my thought. That's my thought on it. So I want them to kind of like flex their muscles. Now, maybe they'd be able to do it in another superhero game, but I don't know. I don't want to limit them to just one. Make a first person shooter, which was Resistance, make a third person action. What would you even consider Ratchet and Clank? I guess like action adventure. You got that. Make Sunset Overdrive, which I guess is kind of that as well, / Spider-Man. So yeah, what would a Spider-Gwen's gimmick, though? Peter has symbiote, eventually mech arms. Miles has Venom. What could Gwen do? I think Venom will get a DLC next year, though. That's true. You could limit. I think Venom could literally get his own game, though. Like, or even a sized kind of game like Miles, or maybe even Gwen could get a sized game like Miles. I think that's possible. I don't know if she could carry, or Venom, maybe. I think Venom probably could carry it better than her, like a Black Cat. Yeah, I agree though. Like a 25, 30-hour Spider-Gwen game, that'd be maybe a little tough. Maybe like a 10-hour one. But see, you want to go into the issues with game development, right? That these games take forever, that they cost hundreds of millions of dollars. The amount of games that we get that can be these 8 to 10-hour smaller games, it's actually a miracle we even got Miles, because those games really don't exist anymore. There's so little of them. So if you can crank out a Black Cat, a Spider-Gwen, a Venom one that are all 10-hour games, they're not DLC. But I mean, in this landscape, they'd have to be DLC, right? They couldn't do it. But if you could make 10-hour games and just kind of rattle off these side characters, that'd be freaking sweet, and that would probably feel like you're in like 2008 again. But obviously, it's just not how games are made anymore. So it's annoying. I hate it. I hate it. I think, as I've said, like the gaming industry in a lot of ways is going the wrong way. So yeah. Oh, there you go. And I didn't even read this Portal player, but that's it. That's literally it right there. That's my worry. I hope we get new information for the new Wolverine game. I think they'll wait. I think they'll wait right after Spider-Man. I think we'll start to hear about it. Maybe in the Game Awards. Maybe there will be a trailer like at the Game Awards. So, new areas of the map outside the main line. Well, we've gotten like teases. We've gotten like looks at them. We haven't gotten like the map. I think they'll show the map like before the game comes out. Do you think Spider-Man 2 Do you think Marvel Spider-Man 2 looks like in the reveal trailer from 2021 after seeing the story trailer? I think it looks a lot more like it than the gameplay they showed at the showcase. I'd say that. I think things come together kind of last second. These last really big kind of graphical things. It'll look its best. I mean, obviously there are examples of sometimes games looking better, and then when the game comes out, it looks worse. But I do think the better version is towards the very, very end, not 2 years out, not 7 months out, probably like 3 months, 2 months, 1 month out, right? So, oh dear, I lost my spot. Oh no, I didn't. I passed all these. Hold on, let me figure out where I am. Game dev takes too much time because we had Knight got showed again. I don't know what that means. Do you consider Wario a bad guy? Ooh, maybe. Maybe Wario would be. Yeah, that could be one. That could be one. I just want to announce Ghost of Tsushima. I think that I am almost shocked they didn't do Ghost of Tsushima 2 at the PlayStation Showcase. So I do have a feeling that they'll do it next year, early next year, like whenever I guess the next big thing is. I think they should show it. So I think that The Last of Us Part 2 looks really good. Last of Us Part 2 is a good one. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks really good. Yep. I don't know if they're the best looking though. They're probably top 10. Do you believe in Insomniac that they pushed the PS? No, I don't. I don't believe that at all. You don't unlock you don't unlock it this early. Like there's still things to I think like no. I'm trying to come up with like another example. I'm sure I could think of one, but it would probably take me too long, so I won't bore you. But it normally takes towards the end of the console cycle to unlock its full. Because if this is the full, that's kind of not great, right? Because we were kind of promised, or we were kind of like assumed that you're going to get more. So no, I don't think this is the fullest. Yeah, fullest is fullest a word? I don't think fullest is a word. People keep thinking Peter will be Venom. I still don't buy it. I thought it for a little, and I think I said it in that theory video of who could be Venom. I think I did Peter as a candidate. I think he's on the lower end. I think he's on the lower end of my candidate list. So yeah. Do you think Spider-Man is enough of a reason to get a PS5? I don't. No. Okay, where I'm at, like in my life, I don't think any one specific game is worth it. I think it would be like the ecosystem and all the does that make sense? So hopefully that didn't just upset people. But honestly, that's kind of where I'm at. I think maybe back in the I don't know. Maybe I mean to some people I do think Spider-Man is enough. I know like back in the day of like the 360 era, really my friends were telling me to get a 360 and one of the pitches was Halo. Like Halo is so powerful, at least back then, I don't think it is now, that it can literally say, okay, well, you're going to get this just for Halo. I think there are some games like that. Like if COD ever went just full on exclusive, I think that's a strong enough game to get people. And I think Spider-Man's probably up there as well. For me personally, I would not get a system for one specific game. I would get it kind of for like a group of games. But that's just me. I think many people will get it just for Spider-Man, just to make that kind of clear. Well, that tends to happen with ratings of things. Sometimes, like a South Korea will rate it, or a Taiwan, or Singapore. There'll be some like random one of them that rates it, and it'll maybe be 1, 2, 3 of them, and then it'll just kind of get announced. That's not that abnormal. A standalone Black Cat expansion game will enough sex appeal will sell. That's probably true. Somehow they have to shorten game. Yes. Yep. And it's just it's you have to like train people to like go back in time and like accept shorter things, which it's odd because people's attention spans are probably the worst they've ever been in their lives. You got TikTok and YouTube shorts and stuff where people have trouble watching 60-second videos, and yet in games they think that because of prices and stuff, which maybe there's a degree of truth in it. But for gaming, they think, well, we need to give people more than ever before. But like the honest truth is most people don't beat games. Most people don't beat games with a story that's 8 hours long. Most people would not finish that statistically. That would be the actual statistic. So isn't that kind of weird that people's attention spans are garbage and they probably can't beat a 10-hour game, and yet you think they want a 60-hour game? I'm sure there are some people that want 60-hour games, but most will never beat it. So it is actually insane. I never played Resistance. That makes me sad. That makes me sad. Over there, that way, I have Resistance 1, 2, and 3 on PS3, and I'm very proud that I have them, and I'm very proud that I played them when they were not Resistance 1, but I got 2 and 3 when they released. I supported them. I played them. I played the multiplayer of them, and I love them. And it's sad that nobody else played them because nobody else did play them. That's why they stopped them. Do you think we'll get to play as Venom? Man, truthfully, I go back and forth. My gut tells me yes. And who am I to not trust my own gut? But also, if I go too deep into thinking that, part of my brain pulls me and says, I don't know if you should think that. So I legitimately, it's not even like a joke. I kind of am 50-50 on it. We need more DC games. We sure do. You're right. Thanks for asking. Mine is good. Love your vids. Can't wait to see you play Spider-Man 2. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm pumped. Like, I don't know if you were here. Typically, yeah, but just so you all know, actually, this is a good plug, and this actually makes sense as a plug, so please don't get too mad. So my third channel, Podcast Now, Back to the Past, right? I do the retrospectives, the looking back videos. I'd appreciate, anybody that wants to subscribe there. The link's in the description if you want to click on it. But the reason why it's not a shameless plug there is because I will be making videos on Spider-Man 2018. I'll be doing like a look back video, and I'll be doing one on Spider-Man, the 2002 PS2 game. Both those videos are actually going to be on that channel. On this channel, I am planning some pretty fun stuff. I do want to do kind of some recap videos on Spider-Man 2018. So I almost want like a story explained video. I know I'm 5 years too late, but I want to do that, like a quick recap, like explaining the story of Spider-Man in under 10 minutes, something along those lines. I think that'd be fun. I think people would want to watch that. So that's kind of a project I'm thinking of doing on this channel. There'll be a lot of theory videos on this channel for like Spider-Man 2, right? So shameless plug, but if you want to hear, I'll probably make like a 25-minute video on 2018. Maybe we can do like a tier list kind of stuff. I'm experimenting with different videos on the third channel, but Podcast Now Back to the Past is what it's called. I've already done like 30 videos over there, but I will be doing some on Spider-Man. But there'll be a lot of Spider-Man videos on this channel. I want to do more live streams. We'll have guests. There'll be more theory videos of like Venom and spin-off games and what the ending could be, and Green Goblin. There's been a lot of people, a lot of you guys have asked specific, will you make a video on this specific theory? Now I say yes, I will do those. So we'll probably start to do Spider-Man videos like at least once a week, if not more. Probably starting next week, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty pumped. Starfield, same thing. I'll be doing a lot of videos on Starfield. Alan Wake, probably the same thing. There's a couple other games I'll cover a lot, but probably not weekly. It's probably just going to be those two for weekly. Yeah, remakes and remasters, definitely. That's definitely a byproduct. They need to reboot Infamous. They sure do. But first, you need to remaster them and get them all in one spot. That's what you need to do first. Fullest is a word. Live your life to the fullest. Okay, good. Okay, good. Part showcase, PlayStation showcase. I think they're I kind of think it'll be a state of play. The August one that people are rumoring, the rumors that are going online. I think it'll probably be a state of play. I think showcase probably once a year, to be honest with you. Peter can't be Venom because we see him fight Venom. Unlikely that he's the host. Yeah, that is true, and I agree. I mean, I think ultimately that is, well, I guess, yeah, but like, isn't that okay? The picture of Peter, like when they're in the air, that's concept art, I believe. This one's from the game. The in-game thing that they showed back in 2021 where they announced the game, that one's tough because they don't have to be looking at Venom in that alleyway, and Venom doesn't have to be looking at so you can't necessarily say that Peter and Venom were separated in that scene. That he probably is. But you can't with 100% certainty say it. This picture is in game. Peter's not there, and then the one that they showed at Summer Game Fest when they went on stage, I believe that's art. So I don't think that's in game. Maybe I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. But I don't think he's gonna be Peter. But I think there's like this amount of odds that is possible. I think there'll be a state of play. Do you think we'll get a Miles Morales 2? Probably. I think probably, especially with the movie doing so well. The fan reception to Miles, I think, continues to grow. So I think it would probably be wise. PS5 for me would bring Spider-Man, Uncharted, Ratchet, KOTOR. Sony locks down so many franchises. I want to play them. Post Activision, the console wars are heating up. Right. I think it's about the ecosystem. Do you like Square Enix? Do you like Square Enix exclusives? You get a lot of those with PlayStation. Do you like other things? You get other things, stuff like that. So Spider-Man 2, I think graphically it didn't look like the greatest thing on planet Earth. So I guess I would agree, did like a bigger jump. I do agree Horizon. I will flat out say that I don't really think there's any controversy to be had there. I think Horizon does look better. But they're using different engines, right? Pretty sure Decima engine for Horizon. I don't know what Insomniac actually uses, but I'm pretty sure they're different engines. I think there was gameplay to be shown with Venom being playable. They would have shown it by now. It could be like that last card though. It could just be something they flat out don't want to announce until the game comes out, That would be such a big thing. For example, we've all played, I think it's okay to spoil it. It's about a year old. So like playing as Atreus in God of War, that's a pretty big deal. And there's no giveaway 100% that you're going to do that going into the game. They never said it. They never teased it. Then you do it. So same thing with The Last of Us. Both of them. Last was part 1, or just The Last was 1. You didn't know you were going to play as Ellie. Last was part 2. You definitely didn't know you were going to play as Abby. So, it's not that uncommon to hide switching character because that's the thing. The switching character thing, they've already said, right? They've made it crystal clear you'll play as both of them. For Venom, it might just be in like a 10-minute little arc that you would play as Venom. And that's a surprise. That's something that you want people to experience in the moment. You don't want to tell them ahead of time. So I do actually think it makes sense to not tell us if it's just a very short segment. If he's a third playable character like throughout the whole game, yeah, you'd probably tell. You know what I mean? So I do agree with that. Yeah, some people can't finish 5-hour games. Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise. Game journalists don't beat anything. um, I'd love to play either as Venom or Wraith. Oh, you play as a bad guy in GTA. Okay. Whoops. I thought you just wanted me to talk about GTA. I apologize for misreading. That's what you get with me. Answering every comment, and then I fall behind a little bit, and we kind of jump topics a little. And I'm variety. I like to talk about all sorts of different stuff. I sometimes misinterpret the meaning of the message. Oh yeah, I can't wait for the Wonder Woman game. Platinums, I have. Oh god, don't quote me on this. 46, 44. Some in the mid 40s. I don't have 50 because I think that would have been kind of special to do that. So I'm pretty sure I'm in the mid 40s of platinums. Tomb Raider, yeah, that's true. So either Gamescom or Game Awards. That's what I think for Tomb Raider. When do we think I was thinking about that, about the Last of Us factions. Hopefully by the end of the year. Like I would continue. I am already worried about the game. I'm worried about the last. Is that okay to say? I'm worried about the Last of Us factions. I will be increasingly worried if they don't talk about it again before 2024. I think it's very fair to expect something before then. So, top 10 video. What other characters? Yeah, that's a good one. Even like top 10 Spider-Man spin-off games at this point, we could probably come up to it, right? The third channel, Back to the Past, has given me a few games to play already. Really enjoy your content there. Would you also consider covering Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen? Well, firstly, Elvis, thank you so much, buddy. I think I recognize you. I think you've left comments over there. That means a lot. Honestly, it does. And yeah, Dragons. So I have it. I have Dragon's Dogma. I think Dark Arisen. I think that's I can probably get that digitally because I think I just have the base version of it. So I'm gonna do that for Dragon's Dogma 2. So it'll probably be like another year or so before I do it. But yeah, you can if a game. My general idea with my third channel is during lulls, I'll kind of just pick random games to do essay videos on. When there's a franchise or something, like when Twisted Metal, the show, is happening, I try to do the games. when a new Spider-Man game comes out, I try to do the old Spider-Man game. So that's kind of my mentality for everything there. So if there's a new Dragon's Dogma game, I would try to do the first one. If there's a new Uncharted game, I would do like the whole series, right? Like, so that's kind of how I do it. So yes, I will do Dragon's Dogma. I like that game a lot. I haven't played it in years though, so maybe I've changed. They need to remaster, remake Arkham Origins. You're right. Hopefully, you guys follow me on Twitter because every day today, I believe is day 25. For the past 25 days, every single day on Twitter, I have asked for Arkham Origins remastered, and they've done really good. The tweets have done really well. I think we're building up a cult army, and if you guys want to support that, follow me on Twitter and retweet it or something. I don't know. Yeah, Peter on the air is just art. That's what I thought. Imagine if they sell a statue of Pete versus Venom, and then Pete is Venom. yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I understand how odd it sounds. Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't think Peter is going to be Venom. Yeah, I think Harry or Eddie. I do think it could be an Arkham Knight kind of situation. If Harry ain't Venom, what role will he play? He seems to be very important at the center of the story. Right. Much like whoever said earlier, it could be almost a catalyst for Green Goblin. So it could be something like a race against time where you're trying to save him, he dies, and then that spawns Green Goblin for the end of this game or the start of Spider-Man 3. I think that's his, which is kind of sad because he's kind of being used as bait for like the next big thing to happen. But I exactly think that's what he's there for. So. Have you seen the rumors of Microsoft buying Take-Two and Ubisoft? I have, but I don't think they buy anything big for a bit. I think there won't be a Miles 2 because Spider-Man 2 is starting both. That's true. That's true. That's a good point. That's true. This game is like a 50-50 game, so do you really need that's not even really fair to Peter then because Peter doesn't get his own thing, right? So, yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's like you play Joker for a short time. Okay, yeah, there's one. You do play as that's a good example. If the symbiote is from space, why does Harry have it in Spider-Man 1? I'm confused. I don't know because people were kind of going, there's that shot in the trailer where it's on like the ground, like outside. And is that a flashback or is that current day? Is that, I mean, does it, is that when it breaks itself from Harry? Is that when it breaks itself from Peter? Or is it from back in time? And we don't know the answer to that. So, yeah, platinum trophies are hard, but they are oh so good. Feel like MJ looks a little too old. Yeah, I had said that. I said that at the beginning of the stream. Dragon Ball superhero good movie. I've watched an okay amount of Dragon Ball. I've played a good amount of Dragon Ball games. I've watched very, very, very few movies. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that one. When to expect a DLC? I'm starting to lose hope that there is a DLC for it, but I do think it's possible. And if it does happen, I think you're looking at like a year after. So I think you'd be looking at spring of next year. I assume you mean GTA 6. I hope. And if that is what you mean, I think it's fall of next year. Brad, they give us a last. They will. They will. I 100% believe the rumors that they've started Last of Us 3. Do you think GTA 6 will be the next big jump in terms of graphics? Yes. I think, maybe not graphics. Maybe not graphics, because I think there's probably games that will be able to hang with it. But in terms of how an open world game acts and lives, that is the new benchmark. Like that game will come out and everybody will say, how did you do that? We need to steal some of it, most of it, all of it for our own game. That is what Rockstar does. Like with Red Dead or GTA, is they set the benchmark for this is how NPCs act. This is how the world behaves. This is activities that you can do in the world. And then maybe even an extra thing or two as well, I'm still playing Arkham Knight, so nobody spoil, please. As a comic fan, though, I think I know who the Knight is. Yeah, it's a very dangerous. I won't spoil it. I can't promise you the chat won't spoil it. But it's a very dangerous thing to be playing a game with that big of a spoiler 8 years after it came out. I just gotta be honest with you. What Will I finish? Well, the talk about the length of time, like the length of Assassin's Creed. No, okay, here's the tough part. Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I want to look this up. I believe Assassin's Creed Mirage, does that come out on October 13th? Let me look. Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's either the 12th or the 13th. The 12th. Okay, so the issue is not necessarily Spider-Man. The issue is Mirage comes out the 12th. The 17th is Alan Wake. That Alan Wake I'm more excited for than Assassin's Creed. So I got 5 days, really 4, to beat, maybe 5, depending on the time zones. 5 days to beat Mirage. Then I have 3 days to beat to beat Alan Wake, and then I have to play Spider-Man. So can I do it? Probably not. Will I do it? I'll certainly try. But I'm concerned about that stretch of time. It's not fair. It's actually not fair, but it is what it is. Do you think Flash Thompson could appear / become Agent Venom maybe in Spider-Man 3? Maybe. I think so. I think, like I said, I think what they'll do in this game is they'll continue to expand the universe. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. And then set it up for Spider-Man 3, but also set it up for potential, like many different spin-offs if they ever wanted to, or they can just leave it. I think this game is going to try to do a lot. Hello, Acid X. What's going on? Nice name. Peter needs a beard, honestly. Can you recommend me a game to platinum? Okay, well, honestly, if we're on the topic of Spider-Man, which we are, I think Miles is one of the easier platinums out there. I think Spider-Man is not too bad of a platinum out there. So I would say the Spider-Man games. If you want an easy platinum, the early Telltale games were just you play them, right? So like The Walking Dead, etc. You just play them. I don't remember. Maybe some of them you have to do very specific things, but not often. And then you'll platinum it. So I think any episodic game from the past is relatively easy. Life is Strange is pretty darn easy, but also a really good game. I'm not trying to just give you bad games. If you want a bad game like I Am Mayo, is certainly, I don't even have that game, but that game is obviously one of the easiest platinums in the world to get. But if you want like a good game, you'll have fun playing Miles and you'll platinum it. So. Yeah, if it's not DLC for Hogwarts, then they're just doing the second game already. So, let's see. Oh god, I can't. The thing like pulls me up over here, and then I get annoyed. Oh, you literally mean GTA 69? Well, we'll all be dead, so it won't even matter. So I skipped that question. I'll literally be dead. Peter and MJ are not the only ones that changed. Harry changed too. If you look at the pictures, and yes, that's true. And we were told that one though, right? Or at least the voice was the voice actor. The voice changed, right? Because we've heard him on the phone before, or like voice messaging, or voicemail. So yeah, so I think we knew that though, right? So like that's the thing with MJ is I think she kind of just caught people by surprise, which is fair. Which is I think that's fair, but I do not believe those rumors because that would be insane. Are you gonna watch the Marvels? Absolutely not. To be fair, I haven't watched a lot of Marvel stuff recently, so it's not just the Marvels. I haven't watched Black Panther 2. I watched the first one. Don't care to. I have not watched the Eternals. I never in my life will. I didn't watch She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. What's going on right now? Secret Invasion. I haven't watched that. So I've largely checked out. So it's not necessarily just the Marvels, but yeah. I also haven't watched The Flash and never will. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I will, but I'm not going to pay for it. If there will be DLC for Spider-Man 2, do you think if we bought the deluxe edition, do you think we can get it for free? I believe no. I believe you'll still have to pay for it because I think they would have said it. Honestly. No way Venom is the main villain. Remember, they didn't reveal Doc Ock. Right. That's true. That's a fair point. It's either Kraven or it's probably somebody else. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed branching out. That'll be interesting. I think you can finish Mirage in one day. It's like 10 hours long. Yeah, they said it's about the length of like the first couple of them, which, if you rush it, you can beat it in 10, 12, 13 hours. If you do most things, you can probably beat it in 20 hours. So even 20 hours, if you do 5 hours a day, that's 4 days, right? So that is not bad. Alan Wake is bad because it's 2 or 3 days, and that game could be 20, 25 hou I have they said I think maybe I made a video about the length. I think I did. What's the length of Alan Wake 2? I think the length is around 20 or so hours of Alan Wake 2, so that one's a lot tougher because it's just longer, so, yes. Will Venom be the only symbiote in the game? Probability too low, but I'd love to see a team of symbiotes. Venom, Carve. Yeah, I think I don't know. Have you tweeted me that, or somebody else tweeted me about Carnage before? I think they might be a little too much because you don't want to jam pack it full of too much, but it's possible. What's impressive is that he's managed to avoid the Arcanites. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Somebody that spoils it for him in this chat should actually be banned by me because you have to give him props for avoiding it for 8 years. That's a great comment. There's a 50-50 for spinoffs or different continued other Marvel games. Sly 1 and 2 Platinum. Do I have that? Oh, man, I don't even know if I have the Platinum for Sly. Maybe I do. I feel like I should. So they probably are easy. Of course. If you want hard ones, like I have a platinum for Resogun, I have a platinum for Sound Shapes, I have a platinum for Velocity 2X. I platinum Uncharted 1 through 3. There's definitely some harder ones in my collection. It's not just all easy ones. Ghost of Tsushima. Yep, that's well said, Yoza. Very well said. Nice, great game, amazing game, nice platinum. That's a good one. I don't think you'll kill Peter. I think that would almost be insulting to kill Peter Parker in the second game. That's not even fully his. I think that would be pretty bad. I appreciate it, buddy. That your thumb was tired. Yeah, no, I don't expect support on every day for it, but. Oh, Astro's Playroom. I have that one. That's a great one. That's a good one. Mostly the recent Marvel stuff have been lame, but Miss Marvel is surprisingly good. Yes, I like I like her too. I think she's full of spunk and energy and knowledge, which a lot of them lack, but I think she has it. So yeah, I like her, but I just don't care enough to. I watched The Witcher though. I watched season 3, part 1. I actually am gonna do. I already did it. A review is going to go up tomorrow on Podcast Now Plus of my thoughts on the Witcher TV show. So, and I'll be next Thursday is Twisted Metal, the show. I'll be reviewing every single episode also on Podcast Now Plus. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm not ready to fight Spider-Man as Miles. Get ready because it's 100% going to happen. Yeah, you'll have to pay for the DLCs. Who has time to play 10 hours a day? LOL. If it's your job, if it's the only, or if it's a day off, or if it's a weekend and you're in school and you don't have any homework, it is possible. When The Last was Part 2 came out, within 24 hours, I think 10 hours in. Because I just wanted to. I knew the spoiler, and I think we've already said the spoiler, so I'm not too afraid to say it, but maybe I just won't say it anymore. I knew the spoiler because I saw like the leaks that came out like a month and a half before, but I played it like 2 hours the night it came out, and then I want to say I played 7 or so hours the next day. So I do think I put 9 or 10 hours into The Last of Us within a 24-hour span. And I've done that a few times. I've done that maybe under 10 times. So not that many, but I have done it. Since you mentioned Life is Strange, how hard did the scene of Alex blocking the shouting of her brother and father with the song Ditto Stand hit you? True Colors is very, I think it's emotional. I think it was my favorite. It was tied for my favorite game along with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I love True Colors. I think it hit me a few times, I think emotionally. I think it did a fantastic job. I still will always prefer the first game just because I think it's a masterpiece besides the 5th episode, the ending of the 5th episode. Because I think the 5th episode of Life is Strange is not nearly as bad as everybody says. It's literally the ending. It's not the whole episode. I think the whole episode is actually extremely good. Playing Miles Morales right now, so I don't see chat. LOL, thanks for not spoiling. There you go. No worries, buddy. Will we get any more news for Spider-Man 2? So I said it a little while ago, buddy. how I think they'll do it is they'll probably start in September. My theory, my conspiracy theory, I think they'll start in September to kind of combat Starfield. That's kind of because it's a month before. It's a good starting point to like do daily drops on Twitter and stuff. And you're trying to pull people from Starfield. So I think it makes sense to do that. Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up on the chat, and we'll wrap up probably in the next 50 or so. Probably the next 5-10 minutes. We'll probably head off. Appreciate you guys being here, but I don't want to get too far behind. If there's anything else you want to ask me now, and I'll read them all out. I think Ratchet and Clank is doomed. Honestly, I think Insomniac will focus next on Wolverine, then Spider-Man 2, then Spider-Man 3. I assume you mean then Wolverine 2, probably. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty afraid that Ratchet and Clank won't continue. People have told me before that I worry too much and that they're not worried about Ratchet and Clank's future. I disagree, but that's okay. I hope to platinum Elden Ring. Oh my God, you sick, twisted human. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good one. That'd be something I'd be very proud of, which I don't have. Alex, this is a good B-Day wish list for games. Evil West, Far Cry Primal, Witcher 3. I have 2 of those. And Evil West is very good, and Witcher 3 is very good. Ooh, the Yu-Gi-Oh game. The new Yu-Gi-Oh game. I saw a Yu-Gi-Oh game at a retro store, one from back in like the PS2 era, and I didn't buy it because I do believe they were trying to scam me. I think I could get it like five or so bucks cheaper online. Venom or Kratos? Kratos. Kratos kind of always wins, so I have to say Kratos. I think Eddie will become Venom once the game is over, like an after credit, or that could be DLC. Yep, I'm kind of with you. I think that's a good thought. AC Valhalla is the best example of games looking way better on launch. If you watch the story trailer, it's night and day. Yeah. Yep, there's a lot of examples. To be honest, there's a lot of examples. There are a lot of fights in Spider-Man 2. We're gonna leave like no way I have to fight him or something like that. Yeah, I think so too. When do you think reviewers will get an early copy? I need to beware of spoilers for this. For this, I would maybe expect like they did for God of War if they're pretty confident, where I could see people getting it 2 weeks ahead of time and the reviews going live a week ahead of time. I think that's kind of realistic. Yes, I honestly haven't looked at the likes at all. If you want to leave a like, you haven't left a like yet, please do. Thanks, buddy, for saying. I don't think I mentioned it one time, but now I am. Leave a like. Leave a like. Honestly, the biggest thing I am really what's the word? Not simping for, but like I'm really trying to push that third channel podcast now Back to the Past. If you guys haven't subscribed there, links in the description. All my links are there to follow me on Twitter and other YouTube channels. That's my number one wish this Christmas is that you subscribe to my third channel. But leaving a like is something you can also do. I appreciate it, buddy. Who do you think is Venom in Spider-Man 2? I do think Harry. I'm trying to think of all the scenarios. I haven't seen. I'm probably gonna do a video on Mortal Kombat like right now. I know they were doing their panel literally as I was doing this. So once I head off, I'm gonna catch up on whatever was happening Mortal Kombat, and I'll probably do a video later tonight. It'll go up, and we'll talk about MK. That's kind of my plan right now. What are the odds of getting the last part 2 rematch? I think it's kind of high. I think within the next year, it's kind of high. Next Lego next year. I think are they doing a game that's not Lego, or was that game canceled? I think we could hear about their next game potentially next year. Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next. Wow, you memorized my script. I just say it. I don't have a script anyway. No, that's pretty funny because that's exactly what I say. Giving early copies 2 weeks at a time is so dumb. Yeah. To be fair, most games tend to leak early. Most games tend to have some random copy sold in like an Asian, like some country or some place around the world is just going to get the game early, right? Some retailer is accidentally going to give it out because it happens for Spider-Man, it happened for God of War, it happens for non-first party games. Like it's going to happen for every game. So I do agree, but it's kind of just because of the social media age. You just have to stay away from the internet. So I'm waiting for Insomniac to explain how Mary Jane is going to crouch past Venom. I'm sure they won't explain it. I'm sure you'll see it in the game though. I think Lego Batman 4 is in the that'd be sweet. That'd be sweet. I'll take any. I think they're very good developers in the Lego genre. I think they do some pretty good stuff. So I'll take anything that they do. Okay, I think I caught up. Is there any last? Is there any last second things? Let me quickly run you through. So next week, I assume I'm going to stream again next week. I don't know what. Maybe it'll be another Spider-Man stream. But we'll do several of these as the weeks go, leading into the game releasing. Like I said, I want to have guests. I'll ask Evan if he wants to be on, and maybe we can do a live stream together. There'll be videos, theories. Like I said, on my third channel, I'm going to talk more about 2018 Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2002. But here will be more theories on like Venom and Harry and Green Goblin and stuff. So that's kind of my plan over the next 2 months. That's kind of what I'm going for. And plus, that's just the Spider-Man portion of my channel. Obviously, I'll be covering like the other 500 games as well. So it should be a blast. Would you rather choose? Oh, no, my camera's auto-locking me. I hate it when it does that. Stupid robots. Would you rather choose Miles or Peter to play at? I think apart from the missions, I'd probably do Peter just because. Just because. I probably will be somewhat even with them, though, to be honest with you. I wish we could get a Lego Marvel Superheroes 3. That'd be fun. I did not get. Did I get it spoiled? No, I didn't. I didn't know the ending. I think I saw when Odin comes in and they're like sitting together early on in the game. I saw that, but I didn't see anything like late game or anything like that. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that was that rumor that I covered, right? Where it'd be like Lego Star Wars, only Lego Harry Potter. Yep, you're right. It says, yeah. Yep. I covered that. I make so many videos. When rumors happen, I forget that I covered the rumor. Like I said, like I covered Alan Wake 2's length, and I forgot that I did it because I do 500 videos a day. All right. I really appreciate you guys being here. Happy middle of July. I know it's been a while since the last stream I did on my birthday. It was almost a month ago. So thank you so much for being here. We'll do more Spider-Man streams. We'll also do more just kind of random either theme streams or just like off the cuff kind of streams as well. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for watching. Check out my other videos. Check out my other channels. And I'll see you all on the next one.